Hello friends, this is Worm, just go ask your mom, and today I wanted to talk about next season because it has been revealed to us by Bungie. So spoilers, minor spoilers ahead. If you don't want to know what the title of next season is and probably the theme of it, just go ahead and click off the video now. But if you don't care, final spoiler warning. Okay, if you don't care, of course, next season is going to be Season of the Wish. Now, that's going to be really confusing for me because Season of the Witch, Season of the Wish, I don't know why Bungie chose to put these two seasons right next to each other. At any rate, I want to talk about this because now we've kind of had a day of like gathering information. You know, Bungie came out with a couple different posts across media about next season and some insight. You know, we had the Embaru engine puzzle and stuff like that. So I didn't want to do this video yesterday, but today, here we are. I think we've kind of got all the information we're going to get, at least for this week. So I figured I would talk about it and talk about, I guess, just thoughts in general, right? And so, of course, Season of the Wish is themed after an Ahamkara, or Ahamkara, maybe Riven, maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to kind of see where it goes from here. But of course, if you did not complete the final puzzle of the Embaru engine, you will notice there's a cutscene, and that cutscene plays a huge part in the story because at the end we find an Ahamkara egg that is untouched by Taken corruption, which is kind of a big deal, right? Like that's really neat because all the Ahamkara that we know about and all the eggs that exist that we know about have all been taken, right? They've been touched by Taken corruption. You can especially see the eggs, for example, in the Corrupted Strike. When you're on the elevator, an egg will literally drop from the ceiling, right? And that's part of a challenge or something or another for a triumph, or I don't really remember. But yeah, it's cool that we have one that has not been touched by Taken energy, Taken essence, whatever, right? And now, where's this going to lead us in the story? I don't know. I kind of wanted to go into speculation mode here for next season. Of course, I don't have any insight or anything like that. But is it possible that we make a wish? Guardians ourselves are given the opportunity to make a wish with a wish dragon, right? Now, of course, wish dragons are known for their deceitful techniques. Like, they'll grant wishes, but there's always like a caveat to it, so to speak. But I just thought that the idea of that would be cool. Like, maybe next season we see some type of like wish themed, what is the word I'm looking for here? Like focusing kind of thing, you know, where, you know, you get a wish. Okay, like, you know, I wish for high resilience armor, but if you wish for that, you know, you can amplify that, right? Like, you can do your normal armor focusing, then do your high stat focusing, but then you can wish for like an abundance, right? And so it goes from, I think right now you can currently get a maximum of 30 of any given stat on a piece of armor. But when you wish for it, right, it can go past that. It can go up to 40 or something like that. But when you go up to 40 on resilience, you are, you know, substantially risking hurting your resilience or something like that. Or recovery, sorry. I don't know. That'd just kind of be a really neat idea. We're kind of going all over the place here. But as for the story, I didn't see this coming at all. Okay, like, I'm not necessarily like a lore expert by any means, but I have decent knowledge of Destiny lore. I didn't see this coming at all, right? Like finding this Ahamkara egg, because it was a total surprise to me. I didn't watch videos about spoilers or anything like that. Like, when I heard that there was a new puzzle, like, I immediately turned off of media because I didn't want to be spoiled. And so I found out that there was this Ahamkara egg that we'd found, and that's, like I said, that's a huge deal in terms of from a lore standpoint, right? So I'm pretty excited about that. But never mind the lore and stuff like that. I kind of want to just talk and maybe think about what are some of the things that we could see next season. Now, obviously, there is potentially going to be an Ahamkara coming back, right? Even if it's a baby one, which I don't know. I think seeing a baby Ahamkara would be really, really cool. But of course, you know, with the danger, it's probably gonna be locked up in a Vanguard vault. We're not gonna see it, blah, 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 blah. In terms of weapons though, if I can remember here, I'll put it up on screen, but we have seen the artwork for next season, right? And there's 3 Guardians and they're dressed up in the armor sets that we know we're going to be getting. Now, in terms of what this armor is, I would imagine it is probably the seasonal like ornament set, if I'm not mistaken, because I think with Season of the Witch, they did that too. Like, they had the ornament set. So this is not going to be the base the base armor set, right? It's not going to be the base armor set. Sorry, I'm pulling up a picture of that right now so I can look at it. If I can remember, I promise I will try to edit a picture in here. That way y'all can look at it with me. But the armor set they're wearing, it's definitely got a a Woken theme to it, Dreaming City theme to it. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the Dreaming City theme, right? Like, we've got a ton of Dreaming City sets. We've got the Reverie Dawn set. We've got the Last Wish set. We've got the Queen's Guard set. We've got a bunch of sets of armor that are themed around the, I guess, Awoken slash Dreaming City kind of thing. But I will say this armor looks really cool. The Hunter, especially, like the Hunter's cloak, looks absolutely crazy good. Titan, I'm actually the least fan of the Titan, but I like the Titan's legs. And then the Warlock's chest piece looks pretty good. I wonder how it's going to shade, but never mind the armor here. I want to look at the weapons, because the weapons, it looks like we're getting at least 3 weapons here. Obviously we're getting at least 3, but the one on the left here that the Hunter's holding, if I had to guess, this looks like it would be a linear fusion rifle, right? Maybe, like, you could maybe say it's like an auto rifle. Okay, I fixed it for us so that y'all can follow along here. But it maybe looks like, this is what we're talking about, right? Maybe it's an auto rifle. I can't really tell. The reason why I want to say it's an auto rifle is because the magazine looks like, you know, it's got the shape of an auto rifle, but I could also see this being a linear fusion rifle. And I think, when was the last time we even got a linear fusion rifle? Was it, I think it was like 2 seasons ago, right? Season of Plunder, I know we got one. But I don't think we've got another one in terms of seasonal weapons in a hot minute. So this weapon right here, like I said, I could see this being a linear fusion rifle, maybe an auto rifle. Of course, I would personally prefer it to be an auto rifle, as I like auto rifles a lot. And it's always great to get additional auto rifles in the game. But moving on from there, if we, come on, I don't like how it zooms here. Whatever. We've got what the Titan's holding here. This, I don't see any world where this is not a shotgun. I mean, just look at it. It doesn't have the shape of anything besides a shotgun. It's got, you know, here's the pump, right? It doesn't have any noticeable sights up here on top of it or anything. So I see this probably being a shotgun. So we're getting a shotgun. I mean, if you like shotguns, there you go. I'm not the biggest fan of shotguns inside of PvE. Couldn't even speculate as to what the actual archetype is. And then of course over here, I think that this is probably a bow that the Warlock's holding, but I guess we'll just have to see as it comes out, right? But most notably, this bow right here, this bow looks very, very, very similar to a bow that we already have in the game currently, an exotic bow. It's like Wish Ender. I don't know about y'all, but I'm really getting those Wish Ender vibes from this bow, right? It looks like, I don't think it's an ornament. I think it is its own bow in and of itself, which is really interesting because we already have Tyranny of Heaven, which is, I guess, a Dreaming City themed bow. And then we had Rakenshire, which was the Season of the Queen, or whatever. I can't remember the name of that season, but Lightfall's season bow. So we're getting another bow. What is it going to be? Probably Strand, I would hope and assume. Right? Like, we don't have any strand bows, and Bungie, as they go, they try to make one of every archetype of weapon before they start doubling up. You know, for example, this season we got our first 140 strand hand cannon, Season of the Witch. Got our first 140 strand hand cannon, which is fantastic. So I could see this being a strand bow. Also, I'm just going to point out here, if we, can I zoom in? Why? Oh, here we go. Oh, there it is. I don't know about y'all. But look at the color of this string here. Oh, sorry. Let me pull it up. Look at the color of the string. Like, to me, that looks like it is actually, let's probably use, let me use a darker color here. That to me looks green, right? Like, this is indicative that this could potentially be a strand bow, right? Which, if it's a strand bow, I mean, I'm not gonna complain. I'd be excited about it. Depending on what archetype it is, of course, we'll just have to see. But yeah, that is that's kind of that, and kind of what I wanted to point out with that. But yeah, that's our first look at the armor, stuff like that. I'm kind of okay with it. I mean, I don't know. We don't have any intel into the exotics that are coming next season. We also know the next season is going to be lasting a long time, and unlike Season of the Lost, which was several seasons ago, that was 6 months long, this one was kind of unplanned, right? So I don't know what the heck Bungie's going to do. And this is where I kind of want to talk about my concerns with everything that's going on. With Bungie losing a bunch of employees, delaying Lightfall, which I don't think that's been confirmed by Bungie yet. Right, it's been slated by several other people, Paul Tassi and stuff like that, Bloomberg, like all these people are reporting that it's been delayed, but we have not gotten actual word from Bungie yet. So I still say take it with a grain of salt. Maybe the final shape is delayed, maybe not, I don't know. But we're gonna look at this as if it is going to be a 7-month long season. And here are my main concerns. What is going to divide up the season? Number one, like that's my big question right now, right? With the 6-month long season we got a couple seasons ago in Season of the Lost, we had the 30th anniversary pack drop, which really felt refreshing. Like that definitely refreshed the content of that season. And yes, it was the same season, but it also, like, it could have been its own like standalone mini season, right? Like it was definitely boring by the time the end of the season came around, not gonna lie, but it definitely was there to help break up the season, right? And that was very, very important. And it's very important that we mention that is the that happened. Also, that was planned. With this season that has been unplanned, like Bungie has stated already that there's going to be something to fill the gap. I am very concerned as to what that something is going to be, right? And the reason why I say I'm concerned with what that something is going to be is because they don't really have any tricks up their sleeve. Like at least with Season of the Lost, the 30th anniversary happened to fall on that year, which was 2021, if I'm not mistaken, right? 2021, that's when Bungie celebrated their 30th anniversary. Like, what are they going to do? A 32nd anniversary? Like, it doesn't make sense to me, right? It doesn't make sense to do that. So what are they going to use to fill the gap? Are we going to get something that is substantial enough to feel like a mini season at least? Or is it going to be some really generic filler content? Also, another thing I have grave concerns about is how they're going to tie it into the story. Now, of course, 30th anniversary pack did not tie into the story of Destiny at all. And I would assume that they probably wouldn't tie, this 4-month long or whatever, however long it's going to be season into a, storyline kind of setup. It'd probably have an offshoot to a story or something like that. But what the heck could that be? I have no idea, right? Like, I doubt they have the resources to bring in something that we haven't seen since Destiny 1, like Siva. I doubt they have the resources to bring in something entirely new, right? Like what I think Bungie is likely going to end up doing is bringing us a dungeon or something and just giving it out for free, right? It's like the 30th anniversary, had had the Grasp of Avarice dungeon, but you had to pay for it. All the dungeons thus far, except for like maybe 1 or 2, you had to pay for kind of separately unless you bought the annual pass or whatever it is, right? With this dungeon, I don't see how they could make it and not charge for it, right? Because we know we're getting a raid. We just got Crota's Inn back, so we know that the next thing up on our list is going to be a dungeon. I have a feeling they already had a dungeon designed for this season, right? The last dungeon we got was Ghosts of the Deep. That was 2 seasons ago, or not 2 seasons ago, or yeah, last season, right? Yeah, it was last season. And Bungie, their course has been raid that drops with the yearly release. Then the following season is a dungeon. Then the following season is a reprised raid. The next season after that is a new dungeon. So I think we're already getting a dungeon that's going to be themed around this, or likely going to be themed somehow, and it's already completed, fleshed out. I don't know what it'd be themed around, because Ghost of the Deep, again, was kind of a little bit of an offshoot from last season. But hey, it was great, right? So I think they already have a dungeon planned out for this season. So I don't see them realistically like introducing it halfway through the long season. So basically at the end of the season and saying, hey, here's a new dungeon. Like, no, like we know that if there's probably a dungeon coming with this DLC, and it's already done. It's already completed, it's already finished, and for them to hold on to it and drop it after 3 months instead of what would it be like normally after like just a couple weeks of the season launching, I think that'd be wrong. I think that'd be very wrong. I don't see them doing that either, because they're in a lot of hot water right now. Like, they don't have room to piss the community off any more than they already have, right? So what we're gonna see, I don't know, but that's kind of the reason why I'm worried, is because it's the unknown, right? Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. At least with Season of the Lost, at least we knew it was coming. Bungie had a plan for it. But this season, we didn't know it was coming, and Bungie didn't have a plan for it. Like, this was unplanned. So I don't know. That's kind of some of my thoughts and concerns and stuff for next season. Of course, I want to hear y'all's thoughts in the comments below. What are you worried about? What are you excited for next season? I know one of the things I'm excited for is this Hunter's Cloak here. Let me just pull it up one more time. Like look at this beautiful cloak here. Like, it's got the spines on it and everything. Like, oh baby. Never mind the phase. I don't care much for the helmet. Blah blah blah. But look at this. That's cool. That looks pretty neat. At any rate, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on next season, what you're worried about, stuff like that. And yeah, if you're still watching, do me a favor, hit the sub button, because you're still watching. Obviously, I did something right, and we do it every single day. And with that being said, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, blah, 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 and watch the videos you see on the end screen, because YouTube thinks you'll like them. Guys, I'll see y'all next time. Bye for now.